The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show.
Welcome back, everyone. It is Wednesday, September 15th, 2021, and it is you are at the 8:30 hour if you're on the East Coast. We are going to be joined momentarily by our brother from another mother and another show, the Pascal Show. The Pascal is going to be joining us to join this conversation with all the news and politics that we have to cover. Shout out to DJ Exclusive in the chat room laughing. Yes, my fault. I thought I grabbed the clean version of that, folks. That's on me. So I'll go back and pay the fine for each word that was in there. That was not his fault. That was mine. That said, there are so many stories that we're having to cover across the country, and we have to land squarely on the grim reality that we're dealing with. We're dealing with sociopaths in power. When we look at the total of the number of children, as Sister Ford just in the last segment went over, when we look at it, our children are dying. Hate to be so dramatic, but is that not what's occurring right now? They're getting infected, and we don't even know the long-term effects of COVID-19 itself. We know the short-term effects for so many people has been death, but we're faced with a series of leaders who absolutely have no regard for the well-being of their constituents or their children. That's what we have to, and this is what I really was discussing at the top of the show. And I want to take a minute to pause just to kind of gather my thoughts and to gather your thoughts, because of course we have plenty of clips to play. There's evangelicals that we have to go through. There's all kinds of stuff that we're seeing on a regular basis. But folks, can we just pause and for all that is good, just kind of take in a deep breath of the reality of the timeline that we are in. 700,000 people didn't have to die. And if we don't take a step back, please forgive the extended monologue, but this is really bothering me. Sometimes you cannot tell where you are because you're in the middle of it. Sometimes you cannot tell that you are in an abusive relationship with a political party because you're in the middle of the fight trying to save this country. Sometimes you can't tell you're in an abusive relationship in your job because you're too busy just trying to pay the bills. And sometimes you don't realize that you are seated in the biggest empire in the history of the world in the middle of a series of plagues. The plague of ignorance, the plague of greed, the plague of bigotry, and most certainly the plague of white supremacy. It's that separation from the reality of it that I think gave a lot of us the sense of comfort, the sense of we can trust the government, the sense of we can trust. And again, I want to be sure when I say we can trust the government, I'm not speaking to that part of the conspiracy theory world that says we can't trust the government with this vaccine. I'm more concerned with not being able to trust the government when you have people like Ron DeSantis and when you have people like Governor Greg Abbott and the various southern states that we're seeing an uptick in COVID-19 outbreak amongst children. See, if you want, we spent a lot of time on yesterday's episode, and we'll probably spend more time today because there is a good debate to be had over Black people's fear of anything from this government. Because, well, when has this government actually done anything for Black people? I can see 1964, 1965, but here we are. We can't even get rid of the filibuster to protect the gains that we got in 1964 and 1965. We still have a question as Black people in this country as to whether or not our votes are going to be secured in the next election, because Republicans have made a concerted effort across the last, how many years have they been making an onslaught against our voting rights? And now we're at the culmination of it where you can't even march to the polls on Sunday. They targeted Black communities specifically. And where is the response from the Democratic Party on the national level? Oh, well, Joe Manchin is standing in the way. Kirsten Sinema is standing in the way. So we can't possibly do, oh, the parliamentarian is standing in the way. Somewhere along the way, I learned that excuses are the tools of incompetence that build monuments of nothing, and those who specialize in them seldom accomplish anything. And is that not what we're faced with right now? We're faced with an entire political machine. I don't care to spend time debating between Republicans and Democrats when it comes to one thing in particular: the unwillingness of this government to shut this thing down, to prevent the deaths of 700,000 Americans. I got to remind you that this is stranger than fiction. Even in the movie V for Vendetta, they had a full-blown revolution after 80,000 people died from a virus. And here we are at 700,000, and we're still sending our children into the petri dishes that are schools. We're still making parents have to face. Here's a level of privilege. I'll get to these clips. The clips will be there, and we'll, just David, you might have to text me when everybody is ready, because I feel like I'm kind of in the zone here. I'm really bothered. I am genuinely bothered by the fact that we don't seem to give a damn. It's $100. I'll pay it next week. We don't care. Or perhaps is it maybe that it's such a big burden that we have to compartmentalize away our anger and our frustration? Because if we actually start caring, then it will unleash all of the emotions that we've been holding back. The anger, right? If we pause to grieve our loved ones who died, and our friends who have died, and our neighbors who have died, and our social media friends who have died from COVID-19. If we pause to grieve, then I think the next emotion we're going to feel is anger, because they did not have to die. The absurdity of it all. I don't think that we can see ourselves, that we as even Black people, we were children of the diaspora. For all intents and purposes, we are trapped in exile, seated in the most powerful empire in the history of humanity. And we're having to hide behind the doors of logic and reason, and to fight off the conspiracy theories that have infected our community. Because let's be sure, every single family has somebody in their family who has been touched and, quite honestly, infected with the pandemic of conspiracy theories. That the vaccine has a chip in it. That somehow this vaccine is going to, churn your DNA into something and you're going to grow. So many ridiculous theories that have contributed to the sum total of all that have died as a result of the pandemic. The absurdity of it all. Can we not see ourselves? Well, I want to show you some of these absurdities. Here's a clip of Fox News contributor Molly Hemingway, as she says that the Democratic Party is trying to continue this pandemic by pushing boosters. I need you to see, and I want you to juxtapose what is presented on the top of propaganda mountain, Fox News. Look at what is distributed to millions of people across this country and, quite frankly, the world, and it is forwarded as news. And I want you to take in consideration the sheer absurdity of the argument. Let's take a look at it.
We want people to be vaccinated and or have natural immunity in order to slow down the spread as we move from this pandemic being something that's very horrific to deal with to just something you deal with every year like the flu. That data has not been shared. But I think it's because it's been politically advantageous. Certainly the Democratic Party has benefited quite a bit from this electorally, being able to push through spending packages. And so you see them trying to continue the pandemic, pushing boosters, again, based on bad data, while the rest of the country is engaging in college football games each weekend and moving on as we have gotten through a lot of the natural immunity or vaccination with this.
Yeah, and obviously, Juan, the natural immunity part has not been a big part of the messaging as far as this administration.
I want to go to the next clip, and I just want to piece the puzzle together for you, because I don't care how mild-mannered the presentation may be. I don't care if it comes from a place of ostensible sincerity. The sum total of the equation is that we are being inundated across this country with a level of propaganda that is perfectly fit to sow confusion and discord around surviving COVID-19. David, run the next clip for me.
Because you're harassing me now.
I'm harassing you?
You asked me, what am I going to do about it?
What are you going to do about it?
About you not wearing a mask in the subway? I took a picture. That's what it was.
Go tell the city and tell the men. All right?
It doesn't matter. You
can't tell me when to wear my mask, all right?
Yeah, but your boss can.
You can't tell me.
Your boss can, and you're not doing it.
You can't tell me when to wear my mask, all right? You know what's the problem with you guys? Because America is so free. That's the problem.
Guys on the subway sees an NYPD officer not wearing his mask. Asks him to put it on. He doesn't, and then says, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Cops an attitude, no pun intended, just that the guy had the audacity to ask him. Of course, it begs the question, is he supposed to wear the mask? As of July, this article came out saying unvaccinated NYPD officers must wear masks or face discipline. But what if he's vaccinated? Well, they address that as well. Additionally, at all times, members of service must wear a face covering while present in pre-kindergarten to 12th grade school, public transit, homeless shelters, correctional facilities, nursing homes, or healthcare settings, or face discipline. And then he has the audacity to look at that guy and say, you know what the problem is with you? Americans have too much freedom. The freedom in America is the problem. A New York City cop saying the problem with America is freedom. When this video goes everywhere and you get called in front of your superiors, please bring that part up to them. Please tell them that the problem in America is freedom and see how that goes.
That was a breakdown by, I think, Michael Mick something. I'll get his last name. David will put it in the chat. Of the first clip that you listened to. The power structure of this country, the policing agencies, the people that we are dispersing into Black communities to protect and serve. Y'all, I mean, this is not a surprise for anyone who's been paying attention, but can we clearly see that when the powerful, those that have weapons and have the authority to come in our communities and kill us because we still can't get rid of qualified immunity. The point is those people have been infected with the pandemic of ignorance and conspiracy theory, on top of the bigotry of white supremacy that they cavalierly bring into the Black community. Yeah, we are dealing with multiple pandemics at one time. Georgia Ford played a clip earlier that I had not gotten a chance to see, and I want to play it again. And it is a state trooper who is making his manifesto, his video manifesto, declaring that he's not going to enforce different mandates. He's worried about his freedom. They all equate freedom to their ability to harm us. I got to state that again. The equation that they are running in the background, whether you know it or not, like it or not, is how they can maximize the pain that they cause us by maximizing the number of people who get infected by COVID-19. That is the result of their actions. I don't care what they tell me they are trying to do. I don't care if they're calling it freedom when it is freedom to harm the masses. Let's run that clip.
A husband, a father, and a police officer. I swore an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States, to protect the freedom of the people who pay my salary. I do not work for my governor, but for them. The governor elected to this beautiful state has ordered medical workers, teachers, and first responders to get the vaccine. I have personal and religious reasons as to why I will not take the vaccine, but also the freedom to choose not to. I'll likely get fired over this video, but I'm nonetheless exercising my First Amendment right to speak freely. I've fallen in line for over a year with these useless and ineffective mask mandates, and I will no more. I will not sit back and sheepishly watch as those who serve the people of this state are given unlawful orders which threaten their livelihoods should they choose not to fall in line. Discretion is one of the most important parts of my job as a police officer. I will use that discretion, and I will not enforce useless mask mandates or unlawful vaccine orders. Doing so is discrimination, which I would be fired for if it were any other discriminatory subcategory. Miss Governor, I think you've forgotten that you were elected by the people, therefore you work for the people.
This guy.
The title governor does not give free rein to force medical decisions upon us.
This guy.
An oath is permanent. I'll stand the blue line for the people I swore it to. If you're watching this video, I encourage you.
You'll stay on the blue line. Wait. Are you there for the people, or are you there for the blue line? I think he made it clear, and we heard you the first time, Mr. Officer. I think the point that we have to realize is the same people who are out here pretending as though they have suffered the greatest blow, the greatest intrusion to their freedom that they have ever experienced, is being required to wear a mask in the middle of a pandemic. And oh, by the way, the outcome of their freedom is to maximize the number of people who die from COVID-19. Ben, how do you draw that conclusion? I've in my lifetime, I have come to the realization that it doesn't matter what a person says they are trying to accomplish. What matters is that you look at what they accomplished. And can we not state that most assuredly this power structure has accomplished the maximum amount of death from this pandemic that they could get away with without threatening their quarterly profit margins? Folks, that's the equation that is being run on us right now. That Volkswagen parable, pardon me, that Volkswagen parable. I mean, I know it's true, but it's almost a parable at this point, where there was a company that made the cost benefit analysis between adding on a plastic block that would have prevented the deaths of the people who purchased their cars. And they did the cost benefit analysis and said that it would be cheaper to handle the lawsuits that would come as a result of the number of people who died because they did not purchase that part than it would be for them to purchase those parts. Is not this the equation that the country is running on us right now? I don't care. This has nothing to do with political party. I need you to take a step back and just really think about it. When our police officers are complicit with this type of this optimization, I mean, honestly, I feel like we're in a timeline where there's a prank being played on all of humanity. How do we optimize the equation? Maximizing our profits during the pandemic at the expense of lives. And they tested our boundaries, and even our fiction could not account for the possibility that the people themselves would sit back and see more than 80,000 people die, according to the fiction movie that I'm referring to, V for Vendetta. 80,000 was enough for a revolution. We're at 700,000. Well, this country is well prepared to handle any type of violent revolution, but I think what this country is not prepared to handle is a revolution of self-worth and a revolution of just liberating our minds from this system. Because, folks, at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, people are being forced with the decision between paying their bills and going out into this pandemic. Before we get ready to go to the next segment, it's going to be much more lighthearted. I needed a space to actually just say what has been on my heart for some time. I am so privileged to be able to do the work that I do safely from the comfort of my home, and for all intents and purposes, prosper from behind the safety of my walls, of my house, with my family and my kids who we're homeschooling. I think that perhaps I might be in one of the most privileged positions in this country when I think and I juxtapose that to the folks that I know have never had that luxury. They never even had the choice because this government refused to do anything to accommodate the average worker who has had to go out in the middle of this pandemic and make money when this government is 100% capable of providing the subsidies that were necessary for every single one of you to stay home and to stay safe in this pandemic. But we're so far past that point, all we could do is look forward. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to look forward. We're going to laugh. We're going to chop it up. Rebecca Azor is going to join us in a moment for Like It or Not. We have a couple of clips that we have to discuss. Evangelicals. I never get enough of dissecting what these preachers are doing across the country. Our favorite preacher, Greg Locke, has been suspended by Twitter, and he's all surprised and he's all up in outrage. And these folks, I know we're going to a break, but listen, if the very worst thing that you have to worry about in this country is having your Twitter account suspended and having to wear a mask, might I enter into consideration Exhibit A of the height of white privilege, white male conservative privilege. We'll be back. Like It or Not is coming up after this.
Just picked up some bands, come again. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. Yeah, I'm the running man, rapping rubber bands. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. Swerving, making plays, good Ferrari red. Never out my zone, touchdown in my hands. Only fam around me, I can't have no friends. Had to cut you off, you left me out for dead. Ever since I was a teen, had prices on my head. Had to cut you off, you left me out for dead. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. Just picked up some bands, come again. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. Yeah, I'm the running man, rapping rubber bands. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. Just picked up some bands, come again. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. Yeah, I'm the running man.
Don't feel right. I still wanna party with her. Oh yeah. Even when it don't feel right. You know I'ma party with her. We been chillin' off the Wednesday, slept until it's Thursday. She don't wanna leave me, not just yet. Told me all about last Friday, when she went all crazy. Didn't go to bed till Saturday. I don't wanna go without, so I asked her to stay. Though she broke my heart in a million ways, but I'm putting that aside now. I'ma feel alright now, happy just as long as she's with me. I've been trying my life every day of the week, yeah. When my baby wakes up, always down every weekend. No love her too much, but I just can't get enough. She's slipping through the cracks.
The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show.
Welcome back. It is Wednesday, September 15th. It is 9 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast, wherever you are. Thank you for being a part of this experience. Hit the share, like, and subscribe button. Thank you to everyone watching on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all of the places where we are streaming. Facebook, good morning to you on Facebook. I want to take a look at a case of evangelicals. I got a message asking, Ben, why do you go so hard against these evangelical preachers? Well, it's because I grew up in the church, and the gospel that I heard every Sunday morning was not what these preachers are preaching. These preachers are preaching the gospel of Donald Trump. Let's be sure. These preachers are preaching the gospel according to Donald Trump, conservatism, the gospel of the big lie, and most of all, the gospel of white supremacy. So yeah, I have a tendency to go hard in the paint against against these evangelicals. Take a listen to this preacher who looks eerily familiar. He looks like an actor. We've covered him before, but I want you to listen, and I'll give you all of the context, but I want you to hear it first. Listen to this man, and I want you to listen very closely to the dog whistles, to the bullhorns, to the gospel of white supremacy, the gospel of greed, and the gospel of the big lie, all wrapped into one. David, run the clip.
We make these exemption forms actually have some weight. I'll sign as many as we need. You don't have to become an in-person member at Sheridan. I mean, you don't have to attend services in person at Sheridan. We need you to become an online member, and that's super simple. So in order to become a member at Sheridan, it's very simple. In our bylaws, there's 2 steps to become a member at Sheridan. This is in person. 1, you have to attend on a regular basis. And 2, you have to financially support the ministry. That's how we determine membership at Sheridan. It's so simple. You attend and you give. That's in person. Well, online membership is a little bit different because you can't attend in person. You're watching online, right? So how could you become an online member of Sheridan today so I could sign your exemption form and carry some weight? Like I said, the first step is to have your pastor sign the exemption form. If your pastor refuses to sign that exemption form for you, I'm more than willing to do it. Here's how you'll become an online member of Sheridan today. You'll go to sheridan.church. You go to the Facebook page. We need you to like the page. See, we're going to have proof that you're a member of the church, online member. You're going to like the page, and then you're going to make a one-time donation to it. You have to have it donated. That's our membership and our bylaws. In order for you to be a member, you have to attend and you have to give.
Don't knock the hustle, right? I did not see that coming. I thought that this clip was going to be about the big lie, because every other clip I hear from evangelicals is about the big lie. But notice the overlap in the Venn diagram between the evangelical pastors who preach the gospel of Donald Trump, the gospel of greed and bigotry, white supremacy, and, oh, by the way, the gospel of pro-COVID-19. This guy is literally good. I want to say good morning to brother Pascal. I'm about to choke over here.
Good
you
morning.
Hear me? I'm about to choke over here trying to get all the words out about this newest hustle. And honestly, if you have no regard for humanity, then it actually is a brilliant idea. He's going to leverage all his social media followers to create an online following around people who want to get a religious exemption from having to wear a mask or a vaccine, or whatever exemption they're trying to get. Man, this guy is hustling the faith. How you doing this morning, Pascal?
Man, I'm chilling, baby. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? First off, I have some feelings about these types of preachers, you know, that are out here running their mouth, acting a damn fool, saying whatever they need to say, but then they wrap it up with faith. You know, just because that they're a person of faith and they preach the word, they speak the good book, that they can just say whatever the hell they want. Yeah. And the thing is for me, it is the constant desire to secure that bag. That's all,
man.
At the end of it, I heard a little bit of it right before I jumped on, and I'm gonna be real. He's like, okay, you know, all you got to do is do this, but you have to pay. He's like, you can be a part of this whole thing, be a part of the whole congregation. You just got to pay. It's just, I just find it, any way that somebody can find an angle, so that they can keep hustling. It's just really sad to me, you know. Instead of just trying to keep people safe, do the right thing. Oh, no, come over here. You just gotta pay. You could be a part of us. Come on over. You just gotta pay the membership fee. Okay.
And, bro, but here's let's flip it, because you're absolutely right. The hustle. They securing the bag. Talk about prosperity gospel. This man has found his pathway to prosperity. But here's the thing, he's selling them death. I mean, I guess maybe that's any other given Sunday, depending on which congregation you're in, but the literal death, these exemptions are going to get people killed.
Oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's just, you're a child of God, but you got to pay.
Sheep to the slaughter. You got to pay.
God loves you, but you have to pay to make sure God loves you. But here's the thing. This is a hustle that we see all the time. They just found a new angle. Like I said, I have certain feelings about these types of
sound like you may have grown up around some of this, man.
Creatures. No, I just see the hustle. I see the con, and they wrap it up. This whole con, wrap it up with people who are vulnerable.
Yeah,
people who are trying to find faith, or they have no other resort. They've turned down every single road and alley, nook and cranny to find something that makes sense. They're trying to find that meaning to life, that their meaning, their purpose on this planet. And these people take full advantage of it. And they'll go, oh, buy my bath water. It's holy water. I blessed it. You know, stuff like that.
Here's the other thing.
Oil type.
By the way, he's running for Senate as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So, you know, the new pathway to power in this country is ignorance, white supremacy, the big lie, Donald Trump, and pro-COVID policies.
Yeah. What you just said.
Yeah. I got another clip, man. This is a clip.
There's more?
Yeah, there's more, man. Because, like, I need people to really understand if people can't figure out why it is we're still stuck in this pandemic, even after we got a vaccine, it's because these types of sermons and messages, whether it be from preachers directly or whoever just happens to pop up a camera and get a viral video, they're actively contributing to this pandemic continuing. So this next clip is a guy named Kevin Franklin. He's owner of a Franklin Security in Bend, Oregon. He burned his vaccination card and pledged to openly defy Governor Kate Brown to support police officers defying the governor's COVID safety mandates. Let's take a listen in.
Hello, how's everyone doing today? I'm making a little video today on in support of our first responders, our police officers, firemen, nurses, doctors, and our private security professionals. I am Kevin Franklin, and I'm the owner of Franklin Security LLC. This is in support, in protest of our wonderful Governor, Kate Brown, who is mandated our first responders have their vaccination. Well, I think it's time that we take a stand. I had a very good friend of mine recently take a large stand that cost him his suspended from his job. So what I'm going to do, and I would like to see other people do this, I'm going to burn my vaccination card on video, and I'm going to say that if anyone wants to know if I'm vaccinated or not, it's none of your business. It's my business. It's a personal thing. If you want to or not, I think it's a personal choice, and I think it should be a personal choice. So please, everyone support our first responders, and here we go. Kate Brown, we will no longer comply with your mess and your stuff. We, as first responders, don't deserve this, and have a good day.
This man about to burn down his whole business.
I was about to say.
He about to need a call to firefighters. And man, what's wrong? Like, does he think these are draft cards? Are they really drawing an analog between burning your draft card and burning your vaccination card?
You know, he literally just cut down his business in half. I mean, literally. Well, you know, when I see something like this, I just automatically go, well, good luck to you. You know, Godspeed. You made the choice to get up to date, to get the vaccine. This is something that we need to use for right now. I don't see the big deal with it. Now, I mean, I understand that some places, you know, some states, I don't know what state this is here.
I don't know off the top of my head either, man. Come on, it's a pop quiz.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, pop quiz, hot shot. But you know, like some spots, you know what I mean? Some spots are sitting there going, you need to have this. And I sit here and go, okay, if they're implementing something like this, by burning your car, you're going to have some lonely weekends, man. There's going to be a lot of lonely Saturday nights of doing nothing. Hopefully you haven't seen a lot of stuff on Netflix. You know what I'm saying? This is the time to start catching up on your Netflix and chilling. You know what I mean?
He ain't gonna have no business after this.
Hopefully you are married or you are not single, because you are just going to be sitting on your hands doing nothing.
Oh man.
Yeah, this is stupid.
Hey, well, you know what?
There's no purpose, in my personal opinion.
We have a whole lot more. And we know your show is coming up at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, but you're going to stick with us as long as you can?
Yes, of course.
All right. Coming up, Like It or Not with Rebecca Zor.
Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Rebecca, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I didn't know which one of us were going to do it in the absence of DJ Exclusive, but I'll jump out there. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to Like It or Not where we're free to tell the
the
truth.
truth, and you can't say all of it, Ben. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
It is again Wednesday, September 15th. Rebecca Azor is in the house, and we're also joined by my brother from another mother, I'm about to say DJ Pascal. Pascal from the Pascal Show. How y'all doing this morning?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling like there's not enough light here in my place. I mean, I know that the light is on my face, but in my in my home, I feel like I need to go turn on the light. But good morning, Pascal. How are you?
I'm very, very good. Good morning, Rebecca. How you feeling?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right.
Good.
And I'm feeling kind of tilty on my camera. I don't know. We got to work that out.
Rebecca, you got a lot going on this morning.
I got a lot going on every morning. Get used to it because it's just what it is. Okay. Now, did you guys watch yesterday? And good morning to the audience. I love you guys. Mean it. Did you guys watch yesterday evening the versus battle between none other than Ja Rule and Fat Joe, Joey Crack? Okay. And Ja Rule. Did you guys watch it? Because I feel like there were two different age groups. The men, from Queens that used to be on the block with the Timbs and the oversized track suits.
Yeah.
And then those of us who were screaming, "What's my MFing name?" And we were not spelling it, but we were saying, "Are you ready?" That's what we were saying. So you have those two groups of people. Did you guys watch it last night?
No, I didn't.
I saw clips online.
Let me tell you something. At first, it started off like, and I can't lie. The people who did enjoy Fat Joe in '93, I was 3. So the people who did enjoy Fat Joe, he said, "I got 26 years of hits." And he was like, "Yesterday's price is not today's price." He was saying that. And I was like, okay, it's great that you have 26 years of hits, but your audience isn't even millennials, because the millennials are at home. We got jobs in the morning. We got to wake up in the morning. Y'all doing this on Tuesday nights. And we tired.
Wait, why it gotta be? I mean, the whole purpose of verses is to bring back some of the classics. Like, why it gotta be we old? We are old, but yeah.
I agree. I agree with you 100%. And so the verses is to bring back classics. And that's what happened, for us who felt like, okay, that was 93. We weren't even born, but we was vibing because we was waiting for the hits that we did know from Fat Joe. But it was when Ja Rule said, because he's like, you got all these songs. These are not hits. These are not hits. These are old. Yesterday's hits are not today's hits. That's what Fat Joe told Ja Rule. Ja Rule looked at him and said, "But yesterday's hits are classics." I said, "Oh, I felt that in my shanana." I did. Ja Rule was out there like,
okay,
because of the Fire Fest, and because his voice has been preserved since. Okay, his voice it's like he was literally singing. He was singing, and his voice was so preserved. And I felt like this was a moment. Like, I'm like, dang, Ja's back. And then he took off his shirt, and it looked like late 90s, and it looked like the early 2000s. I said, "Oh Lord."
He's still out there. He didn't lose a beat.
He's blessed. And then Ashanti had to jump from this side to do one song, and
Ashanti
then
was there,
came back on the other side with Fat Joe to do another. I said, "Girl, hey, get in your bag," because you were in your bag. And she
where can we watch the versus battle?
You can go back on Trilla
with Ashanti. We're not worried about
YouTube. They are double streaming it. They were streaming it from their phones, watching it on their computers. You can always share the experience on YouTube with someone as well. But it was a good experience. Nelly was there. Nelly walked over, pushed Fat Joe over at the end to go and give Ashanti, "What's up?" When I hug that. I know that exact look. I know that exact look too. So yeah, it was a moment towards the end once I was able to be like, I know that song. Yeah.
Yeah. That was cool.
It was a good, and Remy was looking good. Remy Ma
was there too.
I was there too. Yeah.
Oh, see, I'm telling my generations now, because like Remy Ma was there too, and Ashanti.
Remy Ma, Ashanti, all of them, and then all of us, we know all to the easy, M to the west side. We were all screaming. The children that used to be children.
Wait, Pascal, is this like? Because I don't think I've ever asked you how old you are, brother. Like, which generation did you fall into? Are you 90, 91 East Cleveland? Like,
I'm an 80s baby.
You're 80s baby. Okay, so you more along the lines of
you don't want to say
West again.
How far 80s? Like, you look like an 86.
I'll take that.
Oh,
sure.
Oh, you're older.
I'm a little older, yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Well, that said, Rebecca, we we always appreciate the refreshing joy that you bring and culture and everything. But you've been telling me about the story out of Rikers, and we're following a story here in Georgia where the Department of Justice is having to investigate abuses, prison abuses. So, I mean, I don't want to, whichever way you want to go, but there's a lot happening right now.
Yes, I'm right here with
Here
you.
you go. Here comes the broadcaster voice.
No, no, we can go anyway. And I'm looking at the stories right now, and I think I want to go in the way of, since we have Pascal on the show right now, I think I want to go in the way of Haiti. And if we do have any b-roll for that, that'll be great. But I think I want to start with that because I know he has to leave. So I know yesterday there was news that dropped that the PM, the prime minister, and the guy Ariel Henry, who was basically hired by slain President Jovenel Moise, is now one of the lead suspects in the death of Jovenel Moise. And I remember when I spoke about it on the show, it actually was interesting because the first thing I said was, let's keep in mind that he just literally put in place this PM, Ariel Henry. And now, it's funny, or it's not funny, but it's very ironic that he now has been assassinated.
Wait. Can you, because we've been covering the prime minister. Make sure I didn't hear that wrong. Can you just give it to me straight?
The prime minister that was put in place by assassinated President Jovenel Moise, Haitian assassinated President Jovenel Moise, is now one of the key suspects. Haiti's. So this is now, this was yesterday's breaking news. Haiti's chief prosecutor asked the judge to charge Prime Minister Ariel Henry in the slaying of President Moise and to bar him from leaving the country. So they can do an investigation. The order filed by Port-au-Prince prosecutor came the same day that he requested that Henry meet and explain why a key suspect had called him. So this is what this is the news coming out of Haiti recently. I know we've been covering it, like I said, and what's very, very interesting to me is that a lot of, I think people know no, I don't think. We know people know what's going on. But, with these investigations and things, especially out of Haiti, the streets know more than the people in the government do. Like, they know so much more. Before this even hit the fan, my brother calls me and he was like, Pete Sitz, I heard that Ariel Henry is about to get, in trouble because he had a phone call. And, we all got that WhatsApp text. we all got it.
The streets are talking, man.
Exactly.
These streets are talking.
They're talking. So what's on your radar when it comes to this? What are people around you saying, Pascal?
So far, I only found out about this late last night. So I have not gotten any information from my own family or anything like that. Usually I'm talking to my cousin about all this, and I haven't talked to him yet. So honestly, I've only heard about this news that broke late last night in an article, but I haven't heard from the streets. I haven't heard from the streets of Haiti yet. You know what I'm saying? And my cousin's really like my plug when it comes to all that. So when I find out more information on my end, of course, I'll be talking about it. I'll be chatting it up once I know some more information. But this is what's crazy, how like the streets, how it is, how Haiti is. Right. That the streets can know everything. They probably already know who did it. You see what I'm saying? Who was involved in everything. But what they need to do, the powers that be that are doing the investigation and everything, they need to just put their ears to the streets, start listening to the people and really hear what's really going down over there. Because this seems like almost too good to be true. Because I don't know the timeline. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Benjamin, but I don't know the timeline of this. Like as far as when Moise named him prime minister. I mean, it was like days after that he was assassinated, right?
He named him
So-
prime minister right before he was assassinated,
Yeah, and
and that was
wonder-
his choice, right? He met with
Right.
Ariel, and that was I literally made that a story. I remember talking about
In
it.
real time.
There's a there's a prime minister, and then right after old boy's assassinated, it was like the night before, and right after he was assassinated, we had Vanya Andre from the Haitian Times even speak about that, you know, and I was like, we need to really look at that as a key thing. How does he appoint a prime minister? And mind you, she broke it down really well. She was like, for a minute, there hasn't been any parliamentary systems. There's two broken ones. There's nothing really going on. The government is broken. People are just doing whatever they want to do. And now, you know, he's trying to bring back some kind of system. He puts this prime minister in place, and boom. I was like, this is the first thing to me that seems a little sketchy.
Right?
You know, like we need to really look into this. You know, I'm like, this is very strange. Like how all of a sudden he does something that's, you know, against the grain, even though that there was already someone in place. It wasn't Ariel, it was somebody else, Claude. So now you see what I'm saying? He was a self-proclaimed prime minister, Claude. So Jovenel Moïse was trying to put things in place. So he's like, let me go ahead and meet with homeboy. Let me go ahead and meet with Ariel. Let me do this correctly. Let me appoint him. And then boom, he has no life.
Wow, Rebecca, I don't mean to interrupt your flow, but I do remember you talking about that. And there's a difference between speculation and intuition.
Discernment.
Good word.
Discernment.
To write that one down.
You know, yes. And what's interesting is that wasn't for play when I said that. And it was, you know, everybody I wasn't trying to be a part. And we're still, this can still be something that is alleged. You see what I'm saying? There was a phone call that was made to one of the prime suspects. Ariel needs to stay his behind in Haiti so the investigation can move forward, so they can, see what's really going on. But that would have been the first person that I spoke with, because they were they were
that timeline.
Yeah, they were on Claude. I mean, this is a mess. This is a mess unfolding in front of people who are not family. And I got a problem with that. This should be taken care of at the crib. We done brought in so many other people to investigate, and it's a shame. It's a shame because of all of the corruption that's happening in our government, that we had to bring in other people to get into our business, to get in that we already understood and that we already knew. Okay. But the corruption prevents us from actually getting an investigation really done. His widow had stated the killers are still out there. It's nice that you got people lined up, but that's not really those are the people that pulled the trigger. But the people that put this together are right here in Haiti. They're still out here. She said that.
And just so that I can, because I remember, I don't necessarily need to be and I told you so even on your behalf, Rebecca, but I remember you putting that together in real time as you were reporting it. You made note that, wow, this prime minister just got appointed and then Jovenel Moïse is assassinated. What's up with that? You said they should look there. And you're saying the report now, who were you just reading? You're saying that he is now listed as a suspect in the murder and the assassination of Haitian President Jovenel Moïse.
Yes, and this is actually being reported by a lot of major news sites, and Haitian Times is where I actually saw it first. So shouts out to Haitian Times. L'Union Suite, which is also a Haitian American social media platform, that had posted it as well. CNN posted it, of course. We have ABC that posted it. So this has been out there. This information was breaking, and because it's messy, it made American headlines. So we really want to know what's going on. I think I don't want them to stop. At this point, there are a lot of unanswered questions when it comes to a lot that happened in Haiti, and we just brush it under the rug. But the people in Haiti themselves don't. They will stay in the streets for years trying to get answers and may not ever get them. But I think because this is so major, I would love and I always say this, even when it comes to the earthquake and how we're handling Haiti, a year from today, I still want them to understand that we're pushing for the growth of Haiti. So I want the highlight to be on Haiti in any way possible. And especially with this, I want to show that we can get to the bottom of something when it, when it comes to Haitians and their issues and what we're dealing with over there, and things like finding out who assassinated Jovenel, former President Jovenel Moïse. That was, to people who did not like his politics and to people who agreed with his politics, was a blow to the heart. That was something that was unexpected, because I tell you now, if you know Haitians and you know Haitians in the street, they are not scary people. And if they wanted to get their hands on Jovenel, they would have. They were literally in the streets telling him to step down because they didn't like his politics for years. Yeah. 4 years. If they wanted something done to him, it would have been done.
Pascal, Rebecca, let's put a pin there, because I still want to talk about that some more, because the international implications, it's over here. Just my radar is just ding, 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 ding. So we can unpack that more, but I want to pause for a minute. Brother Pascal, I know you probably have to get out of here. What's coming up on your show at 10 o'clock, the Pascal Show?
Just a whole bunch of news and a whole bunch of silliness. So come on over to the Pascal Show, youtube.com/the Pascal Show. Let's have some fun.
Rebecca doesn't seem to think that this is you on the screen.
That is Tyler Perry.
That is very much me.
That is Tyler Perry. Now, you see, I don't know what's happened between then and now. Not that you look like an old man then, but you look like a younger man now.
Ooh,
it is.
Yeah. I would think that. I've been working out.
Okay.
I'm on that keto.
Okay.
Hey, man. Hey. What you know about that keto, man?
Okay.
That it's a lie.
The difference between
it's a lie. Don't do it to yourself. You know
what's a lie? What's a lie?
Keto diet is a lie.
The difference between my opening video and my like it or not opener is keto.
It's keto.
Word.
Keto,
so keto
and boxing and running, but
you're a little boxing and running, and and that works too. And I ain't throwing any shade on that. You got to stick with it. But as soon as you eat a pizza,
that's a wrap. Yeah. No, I mean, as evidence, because now I'm not as big as I was. I'm not as small as I was. I'm somewhere in between that Luther Vandross space where I ate those pizzas over the pandemic. But I digress. Pascal, you better get out of here, because I was going to start a whole nother conversation about us being cousins, the children of the diaspora. But I know that's going to be a 30-minute conversation at least. So in the meantime,
why do you leave all the fun stuff when I leave? You know what I'm saying? Why?
Well, I think I need to come on over to your show and see if it's really as fun as you say. Because you keep saying, it's fun.
So can I say something? I sent you an email a few weeks back trying to get you to come on the show as a guest.
No, you did. And I said
you left them on red. Rebecca, you left them on red.
What happened was there was so much going on around that time, and I wanted to reply in that space. But I said, Bubba, this is your time. And when I saw Bubba shining on your show, I said to myself,
we had a good time.
Okay.
DJ
I like that. Yeah, DJ exclusive. Y'all had a party, and then y'all roasted Sha'Carri Richardson.
Why y'all roast our sister?
Y'all roasted Sha'Carri Richardson, and I ain't like that too much. And I said, I'm gonna get on them. I'm gonna get on them when we get back on the show.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you, because I know how Sha'Carri's story is gonna end. She's gonna be on the Wheaties box. I'm on the side of Sha'Carri, but y'all did roast her pretty.
Y'all roasted her clean. And then she came in the last at the Met Gala. She walked in at the end, and somebody was like, and here she go, dead last. I said, this is ridiculous.
I'm on Team Sha'Carri.
I love her. I said, why would y'all even put that?
But that's funny.
Hold up. We were having some fun. It was all in fun, but at the same time, she was dead last, though. Dead last. Okay, but here it is. Everyone loves a come up story. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Everybody loves to see somebody rise from the ashes. So let's see her do her thing.
Spoilers.
I want to see her do her thug thizzle. You know what I'm saying? I want to see her succeed, but dead last after talking so much on the twits and all that. Damn. I'm just saying. You gotta.
Oh, and Pascal,
you're also roast. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was gonna say you're also gonna miss part 2 of the argument or the debate. I believe in a healthy debate. Me and Rebecca, we still. I don't even know if she wants to talk about it again, but
we're gonna bring it up for.
I wanted to get your opinion on Nicki Minaj's tweet about her cousin's
swollen balls. Sorry, testicles. Am I allowed to say balls?
Ben, yeah, you could say balls. Ben, you have 5 minutes because we will not take this over and beyond on a boat in the middle of the sea. We will not do that. We will not do that. But yes.
So all of that to say, Pascal, we gotta have you back soon, brother.
Oh, I thought you were about to have this debate right
No,
now.
I was like,
No,
I
because
was
you
like,
got to go to your show. I just wanted to
right.
tease the folks and let them know that you're going to be back as often as we can get you. Put the image back on the screen one more time. The Pascal show.
Perry image back up.
Put the Tyler Perry image back up. The Pascal show coming up at 10 Eastern. When we go private, he goes live, and that's where you should be if you're not already a patron of ours.
And
Pascal.
you should be a patron of ours, so you shouldn't even be going over to his page because you should be over there in our private. But if you can't afford it right now, I do send you over to my Haitian brother Pascal's show, and I hear it's great. So yeah,
You hear it's great, man.
yeah.
Rebecca,
One day I'll be on it, and
like I
we'll
said,
see. We'll see.
you just
I'll
need
be the
to click
judge.
and drag yourself over for a little while. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah. Okay.
I'd be honored to have you on the show. Real talk.
Sure.
You'd have
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
I'll
So-
answer back to that email, and we can move forward after that.
Yeah,
I'll reply.
And I sent 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it. I'll be like, oh my gosh.
My intention.
2018.
My intention. Just so folks know, I see it. The audience sees it. Even if the two of them don't see it, my intention is not to be in this equation one day. David, take us to any kind of break
Ben
you
always
have.
trying to get off the show. Ben,
I'm
always
trying.
to get off the show.
Listen, I'm the connection
Let
maker.
Pascal go. Here you go.
I make
See, every week at
connections.
the end of the show.
I'm the
Pascal, thank you
plug.
so much.
I'm
Love you,
the
mean it.
plug. I'm the synergy. I'm the chimera. Here we go, David. Take us to a quick break. So
I'm out.
if you don't let this man go right now, Rebecca gonna have him here for another hour. There it is. Play a song for us, David, because I need to step away. Let's take a quick 5, and when we come back, we are going to chop it up. We're going to finish the debate for 5 minutes. That's all we're going to allocate between me and Rebecca with regard to Nicki Minaj
'Cause they
and her
never changed in my
Trinidadian
mind.
testicle problem.
Won't you join in? I can help you with anything you need. When you make mistakes, I can ease your pain. Follow me and dream. Won't you let me stay forever? The truth is our lives so much better. Won't you let me stay forever? Light up in the sky filled with treasure. Won't you let me stay forever? The truth is our lives so much better. Won't you let me stay forever? Light up in the sky filled with treasure.
Swipe, swipe. Just picked up some bands, come again. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. Yeah, I'm the running man, rapping rubber bands. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. Swerving, making plays, good Ferrari red. Never out my zone, touchdown in my hands. Only fam around me, I can't have no friends. Had to cut you off, you left me out for dead. Ever since I was a teen, had prices on my head. Had to cut you off, you left me out for dead. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. Just picked up some bands, come again. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. Yeah, I'm the running man, rapping rubber bands. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. Just picked up some bands, come again. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. Yeah, I'm the running man.
Don't feel right. I still wanna party with her. Oh yeah. Even when it don't feel right. Hey, you know I'ma party with her, with her, with her. We been chillin' all through Wednesday, slept until
Ready when you are.
Thursday. She don't wanna leave me, not just yet. Told me all about last Friday when she went all crazy. Didn't go to bed till Saturday. I don't wanna go without, so I asked her to stay. Though she broke my heart in a million ways, but I'm putting that aside now. I'ma feel alright now, happy just as long as she's with me. I've been trying my luck every day of the week, yeah. With my baby, what's up? Always down every weekend. No, I love her too much, but I just can't get enough. She's slipping through the cracks.
Welcome back. Kind of uneventful return back from our break, but here we are.
I was so hungry. I was like, yo, let me hurry up and stuff my face now because work is going to be crazy busy today. But
Rebecca, can we do it? Can
we
we manage to finish our debate in 5 minutes?
not with you, man. You would be like, okay,
See, okay, so this is where we need Georgia to put us on the clock. Tick, 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 tick. Because otherwise, if we don't go 5 minutes, we will go an hour. Oh Lord, the white man appeared on our screen.
Can I just play a clip?
What just happened? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
Can I just play a clip to end the debate? How about that?
Okay. He has a clip to end the debate with regard to Nicki Minaj and her Trinidadian tweet about the swollen testicular problem that her cousin had. That tweet yesterday, it got a response. And David, if you could grab the response from Joyanne Reed so we can properly contextualize it. I don't have an update. I am still only running based on information. Yeah, it's a dope picture. Thank you. I appreciate that, David. My son said I look like a spy on that picture. So y'all can't tell me nothing no more. I'm good now. That said, like a spy. Yeah. The Joyanne Reed, the Joyanne, not high, but spy. The Joyanne Reed clip. Rebecca, I know you've been following it. What is the update since yesterday before we conclude our debate?
I have not been following it. No, I'm kidding. I actually saw a update. And it was funny because it was the same argument that we had on air. And so it was interesting because it was from the Breakfast Club. And I'm not usually one to be on the same side with Charlamagne. Not that I don't like him or anything. There are times that he's great. There are times that he's not. And there are times that people are going to agree with me. There are going to be times that people don't agree with me. Same thing with you. But this is your platform. So
I'm always open to be wrong. Like,
but you're not wrong though. Here's my thing. This is what I was trying to help everyone understand yesterday. One thing I'm not gonna do to anybody because I myself was a Nicki Minaj. My family members were Nicki Minaj's, right? And I know that Nicki Minaj has this big platform. But here's my thing. She never said that she wasn't going to get vaccinated. She never said that she was against vaccination. She said about her vaccination fears. And a lot of people that we know do have vaccination fears. Just because people can't read through the lines of this is a fear and not saying no to vaccinations. If you look at and all I'm saying is just look at the conversation, not just the one tweet. I could have pulled a tweet from the middle of anywhere. This is me taking a piece from the Bible, from just one little line that applies to only my life and making it work for me. And literally, I got a tattoo that's on my side. That's only one little line. But the other day, I went to the line after and the line before it, and that little piece started to make more sense to me. And that's all I'm trying to say.
Context.
It's yes, and it's different. And in that moment, I think Joyanne felt the same way I felt when I just saw that one part of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And
we haven't started. Somebody put in the chat. We're already 3 minutes in. We haven't started the debate. We're going to play the clip from Joyanne Reed first, and then we're gonna put ourselves on the clock. Go ahead, Rebecca.
But just to say, just to hear what Charlamagne had said, and it was almost like it was identical to our conversation here, and it was hey, it was a teachable moment. Joy-Ann Reid, that could have been a moment for you to use your platform to have not, and it also looked very funny to me, to have two white men just nodding on the side while Joy-Ann Reid is like, I'm a fan of hip hop, and this is sad. This is sad.
But it was.
And the two white men were on the side, just looking, and she's just, I'm like, hey, it's one of those things that I feel like this was a teachable moment. You could have used your platform while you were shaming her for using her platform for that. You could have used that opportunity to, especially with you knowing that she wanted to be vaccinated, especially she said, I'm not going to be going on tour without being vaccinated. I'm not going to be, that was her conversation. And if you knew all that information, then you could have expanded that conversation in a different way. That's just how I feel about it. I am not a believer in vaccine shaming anybody unless they are the ones that we cover when they're evangelicals. They're the ones that we cover when they're saying, getting vaccinated. They're shaming people for getting vaccinated and their families, and they're bullying them. And we cannot be the people doing it vice versa to people who have vaccination fears and they're open to being vaccinated.
And my contention,
own fans were reading her rights. So,
and my contention, and we're ready with the clip. My contention is that while it's fine, she has vaccine fears. Cool. Should we be bullying people with vaccine fears? No, because bullying isn't going to work. And my contention is that we absolutely should be bullying people with platforms that are contributing to those fears. And while you say that there was a conversation, and there was, and we'll debate that after we listen to Joy-Ann Reid, this is all about the original tweet that really had so many people concerned because Nicki Minaj's 22 million followers all of a sudden had to engage with her family's anecdote about a testicular problem that she alleged was caused by the vaccine. Let's listen to the clip of Joy-Ann Reid, who, by the way, got read for filth by Nicki Minaj. I don't want y'all to listen to that without realizing the read was coming immediately after. Let's take a listen.
People like Nicki Minaj, I have to say this. You have a platform, sister, that is 22 million followers. Okay, I have 2 million followers. You have 22 million followers on Twitter. For you to use your platform to encourage our community to not protect themselves and save their lives, my God, sister, you could do better than that. You got that platform. It's a blessing. It's a blessing that you got that people listen to you. And they listen to you more than they listen to me. For you to use your platform to put people in the position of dying from a disease they don't have to die from, oh, my God. As a fan, as a hip-hop fan, as somebody who was your fan, I'm so sad that you did that. So sad that you did that, sister. Oh, my God.
And what's funny is, and it's what's one of them two white men on the side. I don't know what's going on.
Hey, just for the record, David, if we're ever in that scenario, I'm going to say out loud, please give me the one shot, because this is an inside conversation. Because
this is for family. This is. But even I don't even like the whole context of, and that's also just me. With the black women going against each other as well. Like I said, it was a teachable moment. Have a different conversation in this moment. And yes, the impotency claim.
All right, we're on the clock. 9:45. We're on the clock. Go, Rebecca.
The impotency claim, right? That is exactly something that even her fans were saying, hey, but this claim that you get sterile or men have issues with their testiculars is false. Her fans schooled her on that. And she was having the full conversation with them saying, okay, well, this is what just happened to my cousin and things like that. Now, I before we move forward, I want to read the latest coming out of from Joy Reid herself from the readout on Twitter. She stated and quoted, I feel like every moment is a teachable moment, and this might be one that illustrates on Twitter in public how hard it is for us to talk to each other on these two sides of get the vax and don't get the vax aisle. So I really do, but I agree with that when it comes to Joy-Ann Reid. That was Joy-Ann Reid's tweet yesterday late night. But I understand that as well. I still feel like in this particular moment, Joy-Ann Reid should have applied all the tweets instead of that one, and then talked about the fact that impotency claim that's not something like men being sterile, having issues with their testicular. That is not something that is true. Right. You know who did it though? The Shade Room. After all of that, posting all that mess, the last slide says, there is no science that shows that Nicki's claims of testicular issues
from
It's
the
true.
vaccine.
From the vaccine is true. You
I
are
think
fine.
I don't think we're so far apart. I think we can actually probably wrap this up in a couple of lines here, because I think we both agree all the way up to this point. When I asked you, when should we bully people? And again, I know people don't like that word, but what I mean by
I don't
bully,
like
I
the
mean,
bullying.
I mean using our platforms to bring hell to people who we believe are contributing to the continuation of this pandemic, right? A lot of words to say. I think that we should call out people with platforms who are doing things that are problematic. And while you're saying context is matters, you also have demonstrated, and you said very clearly, that people just read that first tweet and then they go off and they make their whole life decision based like Joyanne Reed did. She went off and made her whole life decision to discuss this on air, got read for filth, and now it's a teachable moment. But I'm also thinking about those other people who took that first tweet and ran off and said, "Oh, I'm definitely not going to get the vaccine, because if Nikki's cousin had testicular issues, what about my testicular issues?"
And then
I'm
this
sorry.
beyond Nikki, this has been a conversation, right? Beyond Nikki, I've seen this conversation between people, period, whether it was going to be Nikki or not. But because Nikki did say it, and I love this about the conversation, I
It
saw
happened.
so
The
many
conversation
of her,
happened.
yes, so many of her fans saying, "Hey, Nikki, I love you so much, but here. Here's a link that you can follow. Here are some points. Here's what's real about the vaccination, and here's what's not real about the vaccination." So if ever you're following the thread and you actually are reading through and you're going to see the comment section, which I like to do, and see what the conversation is looking like, that was majority of the conversation, right?
Okay.
People who even support her, who have blue check marks, were reposting her, and it was offensive to her, but were reposting her and having other conversations. That's why I say, if your fans can give it to you in a teachable moment, I believe Joyanne Reed, who has a platform of 2 million, like she said, you got 20 million, I got 2 million. You got 2 million, and you're here next to white folks who ain't even part of this business, this family business, having this
Yeah.
conversation, when you could have expanded the conversation and gave these points to the people. Your 2 million, that what Nicki Minaj just said about men having issues when they take the vaccine isn't true, and here's
Right.
why it isn't.
Right. All right. So I'm with you. I'm with you on that. So I think the only place where we might defer is when we should, let these celebrities have it. And I think I hear a distinction with you. And here, tell me if I'm hearing you correctly. You're saying if people are maliciously out here doing these things, have at it. Do what we got to do to fight against them. But if someone is unintentionally contributing to that problem unintentionally, and then it fosters a conversation, lay off that person. Don't go after them.
Ben, we all know someone who has been close to us, who has been a problem, who has been problematic when it comes to this vaccine,
Church
who
said
has
amen.
chosen not to get the vaccine, people that hurt our hearts and we want to punch them in their face, but we love them so much. And what did we do? Gave them grace and we prayed them through it, right? And it may have had to hit them on their booty and for them to just move forward, but we gave them grace even in that time, prayed them through it, and have, and wanted them to just understand. And what happened?
What happened is perfectly. Some of them go ahead and get the vaccine after hitting them spank their behind.
Exactly.
That's what I hope happens.
That's what I'm saying.
We'll leave it to the audience. We're going to leave it to the audience. You decide. Because I still am on this. We agree all the way up to this final conclusion. I firmly believe that we should quite frankly, have the responsibility to give these celebrities hell, whether they are intentionally doing this or unintentionally doing it. And if we see that they did it unintentionally, then we could back off and let it become a teachable moment. But I'm not opposed to I'm not opposed to bullying people in this pandemic right now. I'm not opposed to vaccine bullying of big people with big platforms. Individuals, You're right. There's no amount of bullying, but let the audience decide. Should we bully celebrities or should we not? When it comes to this vaccine and their responsibility with their platforms, leave a comment.
Should we bully? Yeah, put it in the comment section. But let's make the question clear: should we bully people with vaccine fears?
I'm only worried about the celebrities with the platforms. To be honest with you, like people, individuals, like let them live.
So celebrities with vaccine fears, all of that. 1 second. I want to address this. Who said?
Girl, we did good. We were out of here in 5 minutes. We did 5 minutes, and here you go.
Yeah, because I want to very much address this before I miss it. And it was someone who was saying the intent wrong is wrong. But like I said, I was sitting here on this show, literally telling you guys that I was afraid.
Yeah,
Telling
but
you guys,
we didn't let you end with anything wild though. We always brought it back in. We didn't let the sum total of our platform be Nicki Minaj's. You know,
but that's not what I'm saying. Listen, I get. So we're gonna have to always agree to disagree here because I'm not gonna move. My feet aren't gonna move from this position. I do not agree with us pushing people to the edge when it comes to vaccine fears and vaccine shaming. I was fearful for most of when the vaccine came out. I was not going to get it at all because I was scared that something would happen to me. I was sharing in conversations that, hey, I've heard that this is what it does to women. I've heard, and that was something that I had. That was because of my vaccine fears, but I was checked. I was taught. And after I was taught, I was able to go and get the vaccine and give people my experience with it. So this is what I'm saying. It's like pushing somebody over the edge to not do it, whether it's a person down the top or whether it's person in, at the bottom of whatever celebrity status. When somebody is open to getting it, even a little bit, let's teach them, let's continue to push them, because it seems like if you look at her stuff that she was open to the conversation, saying, I'm going to look into this. I did not know about Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Moderna. I wanted to see what worked for me. Turns out I couldn't even get Pfizer in my neighborhood. Okay, I had to go and go and get Moderna. Before I got Moderna, I wanted to see how it affected women. I had to do my own research on that, and at that point, the vaccine was out for like 8 months at that time. So are you guys going to scrutinize me for saying that I needed to do research? My sister went and got Johnson & Johnson, the one shot, after all of that information that came out about it, right? And she had to go do her research, and then she decided, hey, I don't want to go. You got to do what works for you. Whatever time you, and I understand that we're applying I need to do research in this particular time to something that is negative or something that is not holding somebody accountable. Oh, this is what I'm going to say. This is not enabling. Okay. We will not enable anyone who says that they will not get the vaccine. They won't get the vaccine. If somebody is saying, hey, I am interested in getting this vaccine, but I am afraid because this is what I heard. Hey, sweetie, even the damn doctor that gave me the shot, I had to ask and say, after asking my own doctor, I told the doctor, well, I heard this and that and that. She was like, hey, sweetie, as she was rubbing up my arm. That is not true. Okay, these are rumors that you've heard. This is what's true about it. I'm going to give you a piece of paper so that you can do more research yourself. But I'm telling you now, that is not something that applies to it won't make women barren. It won't do, it was helping me understand, right? So in those moments, all the way down to the day of me getting the shot, I still had vaccination fears myself. And I was still asking questions. And even after the fact, I was still doing my research. So at the end of the day, I know it's cute right now, to get on people, but let's be mindful. We don't want to waste time for people who are just afraid and having the wrong conversations, where we can steer them to the right conversations and mix that up with people who are actually putting out misinformation. And when we get the opportunity to correct misinformation to those people, we need to absolutely take it. And I believe that in that moment with Joy Reid, she could have done that. Joy Reid could have definitely done that. And that's just how I feel about it.
I need the record to always reflect that I got us out of here on time, but I'm used to church. This church happens, the preachers say they're going to close and they never do. We go leave it in the comments section. You decide. Who do you agree with on this? There are two questions, and I think that there should be one question, but there are two questions, because my question is fundamentally different than Rebecca's, but Rebecca's is salient. Should people who are vaccine hesitant be bullied? I agree, no. That's going to be my sentiment. Somebody else in the chat room may disagree. My second question is, should people with platforms the size of Nicki Minaj be bullied? My belief is yes. You all decide, and let it be in the comment section. We got a clip to close out this debate. David, run it.
Got the vaccine, and it made his balls swell, so he can't get.
Double D, you know what? I love your stuff. And first of all, let me say, I'm happy to hear that your husband's balls are okay. I just had to jump on this and say this. As a doctor, let me just address this, because there's going to be some young man who's going to say, I would get the vaccination, but I don't want my balls to swell up. If it's one thing the vaccine does not do, it does not It does not make you impotent, and it does not cause your balls to swell up. So, Nicki Minaj's cousin's friend with the big balls is not from vaccine. I can tell you what can do it, and a sexually transmitted disease can do it. I'm not saying that's what he had, but that would be something that would cause a wedding to be called off. That's just me. That's just my thought. But let me just say again, the vaccine will not cause your balls to swell up. Not in the United States, not in Trinidad, not anywhere. That is all.
Who, grandmama? Who? I did not screen that.
That
Whose grandmama is
I
that?
like the way that she just lets y'all know, as a doctor with information, she combated misinformation, lets y'all know the vaccination.
But she looked like
does
my
not
grandmama,
cause-
man. She looked just
doesn't
like
cause-
my grandmama.
It
Wow.
doesn't cause. She's the same one that had told that guy to change his drapes in that one.
Oh, Nana out
Mhm.
there killing it in the game. We need to get
Yeah.
her on the show.
She's
We
on
gotta
the
get her on the
TikToks.
show. She's on the Tick and Talks. I can't even do Tick and Talk. I saw TikTok. I said I digress. That's what I said. That's not a social media platform for me. Listen, we only have 3 minutes before we go to the after party, and this story deserves a whole lot more coverage.
3
but
minutes?
Rebecca, yeah, it definitely does. But we're going to talk about it in the after party amongst other things. Rebecca, just give us a look at the what we're going to be talking about. Rikers Island. You actually brought it to my attention and put it on my radar. Just give them a look at what we're going to be discussing.
So with Rikers Island, as you guys know, is a very, very, very well known prison, and a lot of celebrities that we know have been on Rikers Island. But now
we don't need that kind of.
But now Rikers Island, that's what I have to let people know. But now Rikers Island is going through a lot of stress. When I say stress, they're stressing the fact that they don't have any leadership. You know who's running the prison some days, on maybe Wednesdays and Fridays? The inmates. The inmates are running the prisons, and they're trying to keep it together while a lot of the leaders, the security officers, the police officers are not showing up for work.
Wow. All right. So listen, if I'm a prisoner and I got to run the prison, then I'm going to run myself right out of the prison. But I digress. We're going to talk about that in the after party. To get access to that, patreon.com/like it or not. We generally laugh a lot in the after party, but we definitely want to take our time and discuss this. We have some video clips and we'll be going over that. Rebecca, get your last word. Say goodbye to whoever you need to say goodbye to. Shout out to DJ Exclusive. We are instituting some self-care measures here to make sure that we don't burn out our team. So, brother, I hope you're enjoying the show from the audience this morning. And shout out to the entire team in the background, David, Dwayne. Good morning again, and thank you to Georgia Fort on the clock, and of course Rebecca Azor. It's your world.
So, there was a question that was asked. I know we were 60 seconds until the after show. There was a question that was
asked. And David, run the music at 60 seconds.
Yeah. There was a question that was asked that said, were you one of the students in your class that the teacher said, you talk too much? And I was like, yeah, I definitely was. And they were saying, well, what do you do now? I talk too much for a living. So somebody was like, Rebecca, talk too much. Well, that's what I do for a living. You will always catch me running my mouth. Let's take it to the break. I'm gonna see y'all in the after party.
We'll see y'all later. Take care, everybody.
Sticks and stones may break my bone, but your words can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No, I ain't been right more than I've been wrong, and it still can't hurt me. No, it just can't hurt me. No. No, you just can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me, no. I know it's hard to be polite, and it's easy being petty. My mama used to tell me, gotta use you when he ready. Man, it's crazy how my brother said it could've been my cell. It's either prison or a grave, that's what everybody tell me. Man, life ain't a beach, it's a female dog. I'm staying 10 toes down, though I still might fall. Oh yeah, now I done came through, knocking pictures off your wall. Cause loving people who persecute you, it's still a tough be a light up on my path and a lamp under my feet. I know my faith strong, but my flesh still kinda weak. When that victory be looking like the verge of defeat, and I feel like disrespect, help me turn my other cheek and say, sticks and stones may break my bones,